Alrighty, what's going on YouTube? We're back with episode or part 6, as I put it in my YouTube thing. Uh, Part 6 of our Unreal FPS tutorial. We are getting very close to making this multiplayer and adding some of the small stuff that really adds a fuller experience. But on the big stuff, it's just mechanics and blah blah blah. We're getting close to done. We may add some stuff later that I think of, or that you guys say, hey, I want this done, or show me how to do this, or someone says, oh, maybe you should throw this in here, whatever, that kind of thing. If you do that, I'll figure it out or whatever, and maybe put it in there if I think it's good enough, which I probably will. Because I usually take ideas and I just try and throw it out there, see what other people think of it. As you can see, I added 2 blueprints. You're not going to want to do this. You will want to do this, but obviously I don't really have a mesh for anything that's going to give us damage, because if you didn't already know from the title, we're going to be focusing on health, respawning, and damage. I've been going through some YouTube videos and trying to figure out the best way to do it, but I really haven't found anything. Or I have found stuff and it works for them, but it's not working for me. So what I'm going to do is, don't mind any of that. Um, or that. So what I'm gonna do is something I think is pretty cool, and it's kind of common if you've seen certain videos, but we're going to implement that health system as just a baseline health. There's going to be no, and don't worry about what I'm doing right here, but there is going to be none whatsoever of uh, a weird like menu that you have to respawn with, or deleting the old actor, none of that weird stuff. It's gonna be super simple, and we're just gonna keep it fresh and clean and fresh. If you can do that with a game engine, which I'm assuming you can. Uh, but sorry, I'm just cleaning up my mess from the last time of what I was doing. Um, I may do like a different thing, but when you die, you don't want like everything to still be there, because what everyone else had was like you, you die and then it just respawns you back, right? But here, what I want is in a game, it doesn't just like, unless it's like a Minecraft or maybe like Far Cry or something, it doesn't just like respawn you back like at the same spawn point or your nearest checkpoint, because some people are thrown in checkpoint systems. It doesn't do that, and it also for sure doesn't, like, if you died here, say this is our checkpoint, or say these words are our checkpoint, and we died here, and this is where it's going to respawn us, and there's a bunch of enemies, isn't it doesn't just, and the enemies are giving us or killing us, it doesn't just kill us and respawn us here with all those enemies at the same place, like it was like we just died and then woke up. It like kind of resets it to like the normal point, or the last, kind of, or this last save point where it was in the checkpoint. And so we will add a save load system, and we will add that in there, but as of now, we don't really have any progress to save or anything. So for now, we'll just have it reload the level, which is super, super easy. And how we're going to do that is we're going to here, every tick we're going to check if we're dead, or it's every tick is the equivalent to every frame, which is pretty quick. But it says frame, but it's really just every like millisecond or something. A tick is pretty quick. Um, I believe a tick is a millisecond, or like 1,000 milliseconds or something, but you could Google it. And then if we are dead, we're going to add a little delay, because we don't want it to just be dead respawn. You know, some people want animations in there or whatever, and so if you do have an animation, which we will put in here, don't worry, but if you do have an animation, we don't want it to just be like, oh, dead and respawn. We want to be able to see that animation for the duration of how long that's going to take. So that's what you would put in here. And then some maybe. So say it's a 2-second animation, then you would say put 3 seconds or 4 seconds in there so that way you can show that he's dead and he's still laying there and it's like what happened. Loading screens I haven't got to, but we'll put that in there. So we'll give it a 2-second delay. Um, and then once it's completed, it's going to open level, and our level is, and I'm just too lazy to copy this, so blame me if you want. Sorry. I'm used to Windows where you can click it, wait a second, then click it, it'll rename it. We could do that, Control C on that, right there, don't know why I did that, and that. But we don't have a way to check if we are taking damage. The best way to check if we're taking damage is, or the best way to take damage is to just directly cast it from the instigator of our damage, or what's giving us the damage. So what we would do is we would go to here, and then we would go we would click the plus button. I already have it, so it's just saying view. But we would click the plus button on component begin overlap, or you can just do on component begin overlap, whatever you want. But that's just saying once something hits the box, because that's what this property is under, is the box, or that's the collision it is. And once again, if you want it more specific to, you know, a different static mesh, you totally could death death mesh death match, and then I don't know. Let's not physical asset. What? And we could find something that, you know, you think could kill us, like maybe it's just a really, maybe we've got like a generator that kills us. Let's say we've got a generator and it's all electrical and crap. So what we would do is we would, for one, delete our little cube. For two, we would center this just a bit. Just a little bit. And then we'll move it back so it's even more center. And then, oh, just because we'll move it down, and we'll take that and we'll scale it up. Right? It's still going to be on scale, so we'll scale that down. What was it? Oh, I've got to go back because I don't know what it was at. It was at 0.66. Okay. We'll just do the normal scale tool. Sorry this is taking a bit, but you can just, this is just good for demo purposes. I just like to make it a bit more realistic to maybe what someone would be using in their game per se, and not, wow, that box is totally killing that player, you know, on just like my demo of crap. So that's a bit better. Do that, compile that, and now we'll run over to the event graph if you didn't already check it out. So once again, we still have those variables of health and max health from our uh, player that we had, and we just, changed some stuff and added a lot of stuff. Don't worry about any of this game mode, that, or that, because none of those we've actually messed with, but I'll delete those later. But you will want to create that variable player's dead, and if you guys don't have that already, I don't know why you wouldn't, because we should have that in there from the last time we did everything. So that's where this comes in. If once again, if like you didn't follow those steps, you really should have that variable in there, or just say we're dead, or it doesn't have to be players dead, but just make something that that says this guy's dead. And so we're going to cast on whatever's making us die. In this case, a massive generator. Um, so in now we're going to tell our player, hey, buddy, bro, guy, hey, friend, why are you dying? And so we're going to tell it, hey, we're dying because uh, external source, being generator, our generator model here, our external source says we're dying, so that's why we're dying. That sound good? Well, how do we know we're dying from this guy? Well, that's another story. That would be the blueprints after I get this stinking transformation down. Transformation. And snap it right there. That looks good. No one will know. And so we're just gonna cast it, and we're going to uh, drag off two things. We're going to drag off um, three things. You're gonna want to drag off get health, and then set health. Um, yeah, get health and set health. And we could actually do this on our side of things if we really wanted to, because it's just going to change. And of course, we're going to go over here and do float minus float. Then we're going to make that 25, or whatever you want, however you think a generator is going to take. We could do 100 and be one hit kill. But since we have 100 health, we have we've got 100 health, whatever, and our max health is 100. That's what we'll spawn with. That's still what we'll revert to, no matter if we spawn with that or not, I believe. And then we'll, every time we hit the box, or the collision box, which is our generator, every time we run into that, it's going to take off 25 health. Now, it is not going to consecutively tick that. It's not going to say every second or every, whatever, take off 25 health. It's not like those games where you would just stay in the fire and keep taking off the health. That's a different thing, and I forget how to do that, but I'll probably remember how. I'll probably look up how to do it again, because I did it for something else on one of my other blueprints, so I'll probably just go back to those and figure out how I did that. And so we're gonna, this, like I said, we could do this because this is just no matter what going to check for our health and to see if we're dead or not. And you're like, well, how does floats do that and print strings? Well, the print strings are just feedback to see, what's going on, if it's running properly, if it's processing the collisions properly, and if it's taking off our health properly. So you don't need to have that, but it's a good idea if you want to see if everything's working fine and if you're not sure if it is already. So we're going to, and you would think you'd compare it with the max health, your current health with your max health, but that's not going to work because you don't want to see, that would be if you want to add health. This is if you want to subtract health, because you're going to see if our current health is equal to or less than 0. If it is, then obviously we're dead because you can't have negative health. unless you're some weird alien dude. If it's more than, then if it's more than 0, great, we're still alive. That's fine and dandy. And then obviously, since our target is our bro dude, um, since that variable's on this side, it's going to check if we are, and then if not, whatever. Um, so we're just gonna try it out. Still gonna work on the aiming and whatever, but we'll still got health. Still got health. Ooh, ran over it a couple times. I'm pretty sure, and we'll add a GUI for this later. But let's see if we can. Oh, we're killed. There we go. There was a little bit of delay. And that's because we don't have a disable character controller. That's why we're still moving around. We don't have a animation disabling our character controller. Looks good. And that delay, the delay between actually being, because I had moved my mouse around and then it just froze and then reload. That's probably where you'd put a loading screen in. But since we don't have a lot, to load, it just kind of looks like a little bit of lag, which no one's gonna complain about that much lag. I don't know why not ricocheting anymore. I guess he took off the ricochet mechanic, because there was a really cool ricochet mechanic that I liked that he had, and he took it off. He's making me want to make my own weapon, which we will do in a different episode. But now we're going to actually add, yay, that death animation and all that. So right now it would be different if we were like, getting hit and then we want his shoulder to go back and fall and die, or his other shoulder to go back and fall and die, depending on where he hit, or his stomach, or his head, or his legs, or his back, whatever, and fall a different way and die. We don't have that, and so we don't want that, because that doesn't apply, because we're just getting shocked, per se, by a generator. And we could actually add, I'll do that later, because, dang it, I forgot how to do that. Because I haven't worked with health in a while, so I'm forgetting how there's a way to add a specific particle, on like find, oh, you find like the source of the collision, and and you can spawn a specific particle effect that you want, or sound there, and I think I've got a lightning particle effect, and we could do that on where it's doing that. But for now, I could probably just do a simple particle effect from where we're at, just to say, oh man, this thing's probably not doing too well. This is probably not a good thing to touch. I'm not really sure, but it doesn't look too good. Or this could also be if like someone's like welding, whatever. Use your imagination, you guys are game creators, that's what you're hired for. And so now it looks like it's just spewing sparks, and it is not doing good. We'll do one in the middle, and then we'll do, we'll do a little fire in the back. That looks good. And to that fire, we'll add some smoke. Check that out. Huh. This is a very curious thing. This won't hurt me at all. Ow. Ow. Nope, it won't hurt me. Oh, never mind. Sorry. No, dude, come on. This ain't gonna hurt. This ain't gonna hurt me. Oh, crud. I did. So, there's that. If that looks cool. Maybe there's a bit too much particles. If I get lag, then Uh-oh, I better get a new computer. Anyways, so now we're gonna add that animation like I was talking about. Sorry, I kind of delayed on that, but it don't really matter because as long as we get to it, that's the important part. So we're going to yes, because so that's what we're gonna have to do. Sorry, I was just thinking there because I was thinking about how I wanted to do it, and I know how I want to do it. So we're going to add one more locomotion. We're going to add a state, and it's going to be death. Okay, so we could do it from everything, but right now we'll just do it from idle to idle. Then we will add one little just um uh dead. Okay, so we're going from idle. Let's see. From idle to death if we are dead, right? We're good. Because we don't need to go from dead back to idle. Um, never. Okay, we don't need that though, right? Will never be taken because I don't even know why I put that there because we don't need to go back. Duh. So our death animation will be come on, death. We'll want iron sights. Oh, that's just him laying out all the way, and then that's him kind of just. There's just two different ways. I don't know. It's like this dude's falling too much, and that looks good actually. Now we're going to cast to bro dude can walk. Our object is going to be once again an anim instance for our mesh. Keep that all organized. No, okay, whatever. And then it's going to dead to true on that, and it's gonna run, and we'll actually, let's see how how long is it? So it's 2.5. It's 2.433, so we'll do 3 seconds. That's all you gotta do. Just round it off, and then that's what'll happen. All right, let's watch it. We'll go in third person. All right. Okay. I don't. We don't want to loop. We don't want to loop. So that's a problem. And then we are going to back this up. disable movement. And then disable input. Right? Player controller. That should be right. Looks good. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that again, see if we can still move. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't move at all. Looks great, and then it refreshes at all. I don't like that I can still move my camera around, though. Because the second it's, say, look, like, it's that way so I can see my head. But if I look up, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's just the way it's gonna be. I don't like that, though. Let's see how it is in third person. Probably not gonna be too pretty. Yep. I don't like the way it does that. In third person, I don't know. It's still fine. It's still fine. That's my thing, bro. Let's see how it is when we jump off. Oh. We should fix that maybe. Yeah, how about we do this? We make a big old box. What's this? Precious volume rate. Okay, so we're gonna walk out and then we're gonna see where we die. Okay, Shift F1 to and then eject. Okay, so no. Grab you. Okay, modular weapon is at negative 998. So we'll put it at negative. Let's see, it's gonna hit. We'll just put it at negative 998, I guess. Alrighty, so we'll stop it. Then we're going to add a box trigger at negative 998. Good. Then we'll scale that up. Big time, so that way we just cover it all. Most of it. I don't know why the scale is not moving there. That's not my problem. Alright, and we don't need like a really thick box that's massively just like it doesn't need to go all the way down to like the infinite bottom of the world. It just needs to be like where he hits, that's it. Just boom. I do want to move that a little this way. Just maybe. That's much better. Much better. And Russian. It's much Russian. Much Russian meanwhile. Thank you. We'll do 999. How about we do 9999? That's better. Oh, that's so much butter. Much butter, mini wow. And that we will edit. There's no blueprint. Uh-oh, nope. Where were we? Right, trigger box. We want a blueprint script to it. Yeah, that's just what we want, bruh. So we'll add that blueprint script, and it'll be in our blueprints. Sure, that'll be our trigger box. Trigger box of death, the blueprint. And we'll do that in our blueprints, like I said, and then we'll go there, we'll open that up, and then we'll copy over death for the most part up to there. For the most part up to there. It's like, does the whole thing. Yep. Sounds awesome. Now we get to play test it. Please work. Oh, why you no do this? Okay. Maybe we should move it up a little bit. We. Why? I would like to know why this isn't working. It just isn't. Begin. That's why. That would make sense. Oh, I don't like you. Anyways, let's go. Why? Wait. What? Why is it registering up there? What? Oh, I did move it that high. Gosh. I'm a stupid. Well, now we know that it works. Wait, we should make this one hit kill. Sorry. On this subtract float, just make that one hit kill on our trigger box of death. So just make sure anything gets killed by it. And that's not beautiful. See, that is a problem though. Maybe we should just make that ragdoll. Maybe we shouldn't turn it into an animation, just make it ragdoll. I don't know. We'll fix that later. But as of now, this is pretty awesome. And I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll add more complex stuff later and stuff and things. More like a HUD maybe. And, you know, I don't know if that sounds good to anybody. A HUD sounds good to me. I don't know why it seriously just did. Just. So that is another thing. If you're jumping and a lot of games do that anyways, but I don't like that. We'll add a ragdoll something or another. But still looks pretty good to me. And then so that's a good respawn system, if I do say so myself. If you want something a little bit better, ask all the questions. Don't be afraid to ask, because I will answer. And if I don't answer, then just be like, bro, why you no answer? You say you gonna answer. And I'll be like, you know, sorry. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Wait, oh, that's Jacksepticeye's one. Darn it. Stinking copyright.